Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what is really the nerve center of modern commerce, the warehouse. Now, I want you to forget that old image of some dusty, quiet box. We're going to explore the incredibly dynamic, high-tech hub that makes our entire 21st century economy possible.
You know, every single time you order something online, you're kicking off this highly sophisticated chain of events. So, have you ever stopped to wonder what is actually happening inside one of these massive buildings to get that package from a shelf all the way to your front door? All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by understanding why the warehouse has become such a strategic weapon for businesses. Then we'll follow a single product on its journey, from the moment it hits the loading dock to the second it's on a delivery truck. Along the way, we'll uncover the principles of efficient flow, the absolute power of information, that relentless pursuit of perfection, and finally, how do we even know if we're winning the game? Okay, first things first. To really get this, we need to appreciate a massive shift in business thinking. The warehouse has evolved from just a simple storage space into something, well, something far more powerful. Let's dig into what that transformation really means. You see, in the past, warehouses were seen as a necessary evil, basically a cost on the balance sheet. Their job was simple, just hold on to inventory. But in our on-demand world, that has completely flipped on its head. Today's warehouse is a strategic asset. Its mission isn't storage. It's all about speed. That rapid, flawless movement of goods is what creates value and, most importantly, keeps customers happy. So, what do we actually mean by warehouse management? Well, to put it simply, it's everything that happens to a product within the four walls of that distribution center, from the moment it arrives to the very moment it leaves.
And this is a really important distinction to make. Warehouse management is one vital piece of a much larger puzzle we call logistics management. So while logistics is planning the entire journey of a product from a factory all the way to a customer, warehouse management is about perfecting what happens during its pit stop inside that distribution center.
Okay, now that we understand the what and the why, let's get practical. To truly understand a modern warehouse, we need to follow a product as it moves through the 5 core functions that actually bring your online order to life. So every single item that passes through a warehouse goes through this exact life cycle. Think of these 5 steps: receiving, put away, storage, order picking, and shipping as a chain. They're deeply interconnected. An error in just one step will create this cascade of problems all the way down the line. It all starts right here, at receiving. This is the moment a product physically enters the building. The staff unloads it, they check it for damage, and they verify it against the purchase order. But most importantly, they scan it into the system. This right here is the foundation of your entire inventory record. If this data is wrong, everything that follows is going to be wrong. It is the classic textbook case of garbage in, garbage out. Next up, the product is put away. Now, this isn't just about finding some empty shelf. The warehouse's digital brain, what we call the Warehouse Management System, or WMS, directs the worker to the absolute most strategic location based on that item's size, its weight, and how popular it is. The goal here is to maximize every single inch of space while making sure that product is ready and accessible for a future order. Now we arrive at the most critical and, by far, the most expensive step of them all, order picking. The moment you click buy, a worker, or maybe a robot, has to physically travel through the warehouse to retrieve your items. This single activity can account for over half of a warehouse's entire operating cost. And an error here? Well, that's a direct path to a very unhappy customer. Finally, the items that were picked arrive at the packing station for one last check. They're securely packaged, they're labeled, they're sorted, and then they're loaded onto the correct truck for shipping. This is the last time the warehouse touches the product before it begins that final journey to you. So, let's just put it all together for a second. As you can see from these examples, each of these 5 functions is really its own specialized discipline. I mean, whether it's ensuring the freshness of produce when it arrives, using robotics for super precise put away, maintaining climate control for sensitive items like vaccines, or optimizing a picker's walking path down to the inch, every single step is engineered for maximum efficiency and accuracy. Okay, so we followed the product's path, but what are the invisible rules that govern this flow? Let's explore the core principles that allow a warehouse to handle millions of items efficiently.
A core principle of efficiency is all about moving things in bulk.
Just think about it. It's common sense. Why would you move 24 individual boxes one by one when a forklift can move a single pallet of 24 all at once? The idea is just to handle goods in the largest possible unit. It's a fundamental concept that saves incredible amounts of time and labor.
So where do you put everything? It's not random at all. Smart warehouses use a strategy called slotting, often based on a simple ABC analysis. Take a look at the chart. Your A items, that's the 15% of products that drive most of your sales, they get placed in the most accessible golden zone to slash travel time for pickers. And those slow-moving C items, yeah, they can be tucked away in the back. This isn't just organizing, it's literally engineering for speed. And this is a brilliant illustration of those principles of space and unit load in action. IKEA's flat pack design isn't just for our convenience as customers, it is a logistics masterstroke. By shipping furniture disassembled, they can fit vastly more product onto a truck and onto a warehouse shelf, which dramatically cuts down their storage and transportation costs. This brings us to the digital brain of the whole operation. You see, the physical flow of goods is only possible because of an even faster flow of information. Take Walmart's pioneering cross-docking strategy. Inbound trucks arrive, and instead of products being put away into storage, they are immediately sorted, consolidated, and loaded onto outbound trucks headed for specific stores. This model, which you can see literally eliminates the storage step, is only possible because Walmart invested heavily in technology to share real-time data with all of its suppliers. And that key technology is the Warehouse Management System, or WMS. This is the software that acts as the central nervous system. It manages and optimizes every single workflow. It provides real-time visibility and control over every item and every task happening within those warehouse walls. Ultimately, all of these processes and all these systems serve one ultimate goal: perfect inventory control. It's about knowing exactly what you have and exactly where it is at all times. A simple way to think about achieving this level of control is the 3 Ps framework. First, you need control over the physical product itself. That means clear identification and proper handling. Second, you need a disciplined process, standardized steps for every single action. And third, you need the technology platform, the WMS, and the scanners that track everything. So how do you actually verify your accuracy? Well, the old way was to shut everything down once a year for a massive physical count. It was incredibly disruptive and only told you if you were accurate on that one single day. The modern best practice is something called cycle counting small sections of the warehouse continuously. This is far less disruptive and, more importantly, it lets you find and fix the root causes of errors, leading to sustained, high-level accuracy. So with all this complexity, how does a manager know if they're actually doing a good job? Well, they look at the warehouse's report card, its key performance indicators, or KPIs. A fundamental KPI is space utilization. The math is pretty simple. If you're using 75,000 cubic feet out of a possible 100,000, your utilization is 75%. But what does that number tell a manager? It tells them if they're wasting expensive real estate, or maybe if they're running out of room to support the company's growth. It's a critical measure of efficiency. An even more critical metric is inventory record accuracy, or IRA. This measures how well your digital record matches physical reality. So if a cycle count of 200 items finds that 196 of them perfectly match what's in the system, your IRA is 98%. Now, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But as we're about to see, pretty good might not be good enough. And that leads us right to our final thought. In an operation that's processing thousands and thousands of orders every single day, why would an inventory accuracy of 95% be considered insufficient, maybe even a total failure? What are the real-world consequences for both the customer and the company's bottom line of that 5% error rate? That's something to think about.